Hello. It's been a while since I've just been doing literally just anything on the web. I haven't streamed for a while, and I haven't done one of these videos in a while. And so I must apologize. And the only reason why is because I'm on constant overtime lockdown at the moment at my retail job. So right now I'm probably going to start rambling. So if you've probably seen from like the title of the video is that I guess I'm officially a game dev. So this will be episode 0. I'm probably going to title it episode 0 just because of it's more of an exposition of kind of why and kind of why not. So long story short, I wanted to get back into dreams actually, and I had this idea for like just something themed around like gacha machines, gumball machines, where obviously you twist the crank and you get something from it, but I didn't know how to incorporate that into like a game kind of core mechanic. And there was something stopping me from doing it, and I couldn't like pinpoint why, so I will jump back to that in a bit. So on the other side, I just found myself I just learn a game engine because I wanted to kind of build more concepts around building like GUI or UI or just stuff like that, just menus and stuff. And the only thing that I've got to show for it technically is my websites, but my websites are to showcase my work, like my more like my character stuff and just stuff like that, and my logos. And I wanted to like I thought to myself, how can I do more of that? So what I did is I just came to the realization of just learn a game engine, because my first thought actually was to build another website, but you got to buy like a domain name, and then you got to keep on paying for them even if you're not using them until you like kind of not register it again. So it's just like kind of a waste of money. So I just thought, just literally get a game engine, preferably free, and just learn it. So what I did, I contacted some of my friends, and I asked them what kind of game engine would you recommend for my kind of use case. Not necessarily to build a game, just to build like a kind of a menu system with UI and stuff like that. Again, like a GUI kind of interface. And I think both of them mentioned Godot, and I didn't really know about Godot at the moment. I knew the big names such as Unreal and Unity, and there was a few others as well. But I didn't really know about Godot, so I did my own research, and Godot was looking like the most kind of like, it was looking like the most, you know, kind of like thing that I would use it for. Like I love using the menu stuff in there, like in the kind of buttons and stuff. I love using those in there. Which I'm gonna just quickly jump back to Dreams. At this time of recording, to my knowledge, I don't think Dreams has a very in-depth UI kind of building system, and most of the dreams in Dreams, or most of the games or kind of whatever in Dreams, the UI is like really ugly because you don't like, it's hard to build like a very nice UI in that, which is a shame because I think that's one of the things that which is keeping me away from it. There's like a few of them like little nitpicky things, but that's one of the main things, which is a really shame because I really do want to get back into Dreams, and I keep on saying it, and I will do it eventually, trust me. Might just take a few years. But you never know, they might update it for them to have like an actual in-depth UI system, which I hope to God that they do, because that would, if you just include that Dreams media molecule, if you're listening to me, just add that in, and I'll jump straight back into Dreams, just letting you know. So yeah, I just wanted to build like a UI concept based upon one of my favorite video game franchises, based upon Ratchet & Clank, and I did start it. And obviously these two ideas were kind of separate at this point in time, obviously building a gacha themed game and building a UI system. And then I just had this epiphany. I was like, I think when I was using Godot, I was like, oh my god, I can actually make a game. Like, this tool can help me make a game, and why don't I just do that instead? So that's what I did. I started working on the game, and I started building and working towards building the game. Long story short, I did start to build it in Godot, but it's built for people who at least know the basics of coding. I know zilch from coding, so I got to a point and I got stuck at a certain kind of point and I couldn't continue it, and I made the decision to just redo it and start in another game engine. And I'm currently using GDevelop right now, and it's way easier. What's kind of a shame though is the Godot kind of menu stuff. I loved that with how it worked. Unfortunately, GDevelop doesn't have the same extensive tools of building a kind of a UI, but I kind of don't mind because it's you can work around it. There is like a workaround around it. So I think that's pretty much it. I didn't ramble too much. So that's just the bare bones basics of it. There is like more reason why I wanted to build a game as well, but that's kind of the basics of it at the moment. So you probably, why is it looking so dark now? So you're probably thinking, oh, so what sort of game are you trying to make? So at the core, I just thought to myself, why don't I just because to be honest, I tried to make a few games in the past, not necessarily with an in-depth game engine, more so like little kind of side games on Little Big Planet, 1, 2. I don't think I really did a lot of 3, and in Dreams as well, ironically. But they all share something in common. They're all unfinished, and they all share another thing in common, is that I overscoped way too much all the time, and that's one of my biggest flaws, is that I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go big or go home, and because of that, I don't finish literally most of my stuff. So I thought to myself, let's try and make a game that's literally super simple at its core, but at least fun, or like playable or whatever. And so I thought to myself, why don't I just make a cookie clicker? Because then the way that my brain kind of figured it out is that I can literally include the gacha kind of theming in it, with the cookie clicker idle kind of elements of it. And at the very, shut up, who's that? And that's just, then that was it. And again, the kind of very base of it, a cookie clicker or an idle clicker is very kind of simplistic at its core, but obviously depending on the cookie clicker, it does get more kind of in depth and less basic. So at least I thought to myself, at least I can get the main mechanics down first, and then I can build on top of it in that kind of regard. And yeah, my brain still kind of wants to overscope and add like way more to it. But again, I don't know how. I'm still brand new at the game engine, so the things that I want to do, I can't figure it out just yet. So what I'm thinking as well is I'm thinking of, I originally, my idea was, and by the way, if you're hearing like jiggling, I've got a hot water bottle right now. It is gonna be -6 tonight. I don't know what the temperature is now, but it's probably not far off. Jesus Christ, it's cold. December. You gotta love it. But yeah, again, I had to like kind of underscope a lot of like what I wanted to achieve. So like right now, the whole kind of game is based around collecting creatures. And at the very kind of beginning, I thought to myself, how many creatures am I gonna have? And my brain just randomly landed on 25 with different kind of rarities to it, and different rarities will earn you different, like, more money. So obviously the lower rarity you get less money, but the higher rarity you gain more money per click. again, it was going to be originally 25, but then I thought designing 25 unique creatures is going to take some time, especially if I want it to be like to my standard. So I kind of scaled it down to 10, and I think that's what it's going to be right now, is that I at least design 10 creatures, and then it's just I'll just publish, you know, the game. And it's funny as well, because every time I think of like, oh, it's going to have this, it's going to have that, and then I try to implement it and actually code it in, I'm like, I don't know how to do this, so we'll kind of take a step back for now. We might include it in the future. So again, like I said, I want to at least release, literally my goal is just to finish this. So even if that means just swallowing my pride and just saying like, hey, if it's basic, I don't care, as long as it's finished and it kind of showcases the things that I want to showcase. Again, i.e. back to the UI stuff. I want to actually finish a game where I've built like a fully functional GUI system. And, you know, and all that good stuff as well. And again, I'm not going to show the game right now. So sorry, you will have to wait a little bit. It's not... And what's kind of I'm struggling right now is I'm trying not to polish it right away, because right now it's going to go through iterations of, again, the core of the game might change slightly. So I'm holding myself back to make everything not look super pretty, because again, it could change at some point. So it frustrates me a lot to say that don't polish this down right away, because again, my brain wants to be like, oh, I want it to look pretty off the get-go. But I had to kind of literally train myself to say, hey, don't do that, just get the core mechanics down first, and then you can get to the polishing part and making everything have that kind of good game feel, you know. So yeah, honestly, I think that's it. I've talked enough right now. There is a lot to talk about still in terms of why I want to make this game. I've kind of mentioned 2 little reasons already. Obviously, I just wanted to just have like a gacha themed just kind of game, just knock around an idea in my head, which was originally going to be in dreams. And I just wanted to build a UI kind of concept, but it's a little bit more than a concept now. It's actually like a full legit commercial thing that's going to be hopefully published soon. Again, there is more I want to talk about, and the reason why I did make this game. That's the main 2 reasons, but there is more. But maybe the next video will be in January time, where I've got a lot more time on my hands. Because right now in December, again, I'm reading off like a script I've already pre-writ, but I just haven't got the time. So I just thought I'm just gonna just go with it as I'm going right now. So this video is gonna be like less polished than the rest of them. I'm sorry. But again, my time is very limited right now, so I just needed to get this out. So thank you for listening to me ramble for a little bit. And I'm super excited for this game and to continue working on it. I haven't even gave the name. I haven't even gave the game a name. I haven't even talked about the game name. Its code name is Project Gacha right now, and that is just the prototype name at the moment. So hopefully I can get like an actual proper kind of name right now. I've got a few names knocking around. But yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, thank you for listening to me to ramble a little bit, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. It's freezing. Oh, actually, so before I leave, what I will talk about the next one is we have some very talented people I do want to showcase, but I don't want to talk about it too much. And again, I will talk about the game as well, more in depth. So again, right now, you're listening more than likely to a person who has contributed to the game soundtrack. So right now, I don't know who it's going to be, but more than likely, I can tell you that much, that it is going to be someone that is going to be working on it. So I can't wait again to tell you more about this. It's still cold, and I'm probably going to refill this hot water bottle because it is cold. It's not as warm anymore, and I can't believe how cold it's gotten already. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of resources, and I feel kind of bad, but I'm cold, and it's a horrible feeling. So yeah, yeah. I think I'm actually done this time. So thank you for popping by, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I guess, you know, episode 1, actually the proper episode where I actually get to talk about the game and a little bit more about it and the characters and stuff. So yeah.